If you know me, you know that I love tea, and I love tea any time of the year. If it's hot, if it's cold, it literally does not matter. And probably more than loving tea, I love an excellent formulation that's gonna serve my body on multiple levels. So today I'm meeting with my friend, Guido Masé, who is the principal scientist, chief formulator, and herbal educator for traditional medicinals. One of the things that I absolutely adore about Guido is that he's got such deep knowledge around plants and how to combine them in ways that really serve whole body health. So maybe let's start by you tell me, what is this and what are we going to do here today together?
Well, so this is just a little bundle of herbs, and these are, you sometimes think of herbal medicine as being this like far afield, exotic science and tradition, but these are just culinary herbs. So we have a little bit of rosemary here, chives, there's some thyme, there's some oregano. The herb that maybe folks might not have heard of is lemon balm, which you don't use in the kitchen quite as much, but it's a really great garden plant, so easy to grow. So one thing that herbalists like to do is we make these sort of preserves, and one of the best things is vinegar.
Okay.
So this is just regular apple cider vinegar, and because its pH is so low, even using fresh herbs, there's no chance for microbes to grow. It really helps keep the herbal medicine safe, and the acidity of it draws out mineral content and phytonutrient content from these herbs more effectively than like water by itself would. So we're going to make an herbal vinegar.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I remember you said to me the last time I saw you was that we all do better when we have plants by our side.
That's right. I started learning about herbal medicine kind of as a kid. It's just part of what you do. You have some elderflower tea in the winter. You forage mushrooms, you get bilberries on the side, you get some elderflower on the side, you find some roots to bring back. It's just the deal. It's part of what you do. But as I got more and more into the biomedical and biochemical mechanisms of action of these herbs and the clinical research and also the tradition, what sort of started coming back to me over and over again at the back of my mind was like, who really is in charge of this relationship between plants and people? Who's the decision maker? Who has the agency here? And it led me down this long trail of plant consciousness, consciousness studies in general.
Yes.
And it reframed my thinking from Guido as a human who can figure things out and has a brain and is going to solve problems, to Guido as an animal on this planet who is trying to learn but certainly does not have it all figured out.
I love that, and I feel like so many people are in that spot, but we've been conditioned to not actually say it. We're supposed to act like we know everything rather than being like, wait, there's some wisdom for me to gain.
And thank goodness, because if we had it all figured out and there were no space to learn, there would be no creativity.
Right.
There'd be nothing new on this world. The fact that we have gaps and that we can be surprised by each other and by something like a plant on a walk, that surprise is where creativity comes from.
Right.
And if we're looking for meaning and creativity in this culture, I think the first step is to say, there's no way I know everything.
Right.
Coming back to we do better with plants by our side, what if I can't figure this out using my brain?
Yeah.
What if I can't figure out the intractables of modern medicine, like chronic disease, obesity, cancer, cardiovascular disease? What if I can't figure that out through a direct brute force approach, which is how humans have kind of been trying to do everything?
Right. And we're not doing so well. We've made some strides, but there's still space for improvement.
Maybe if you want to send something into orbit, the brute force rocket approach makes sense.
Right.
But when we're dealing with these biological systems, what I learned through clinical practice, and something I'm sure you see with your patients, is the first step is to respect and trust the system that's sitting in front of you.
Yep. Say that again. Oh my goodness. Respect and trust the system that is sitting in front of you. Right there.
Rather than having sort of an idea about like, oh, this person has digestive issues. This is what I do for digestive issues. Yeah. We can say like, okay, there's a system in front of me. Maybe it hasn't woken up wanting to have digestive issues, but this pattern is manifesting and it's probably doing so for a reason. What all is going on? And what can I learn about this situation? Right. And what can they learn from what I might be able to bring to the table?
Right.
But ultimately, as a culture, and this is not news, right? All traditional medical systems and healing systems have known this for a long time. We as humans cannot do it alone.
Correct.
And we do better with plants by our side, not because they speak in English to us, but because when they thread their ways through us and their chemistry winds their way into the spaces that our body has that are waiting for those signals, then our minds kind of change in spite of us.
Right. We're in a moment, and I do think that it's better from a physiological perspective when we can actually modify our stress response. Yes, we want some stress and a little bit of inflammation,
Absolutely.
but it's going totally unchecked. And that's where I'm seeing incredible, I would say, variations in metabolic conditions. So just people having a much harder time managing their internal self.
Yeah, well, and then what you're talking about is this idea of, some call it homeostasis, some call it allostasis, so this idea that we sort of like, we're around a balance point, and we go up and down.
Right.
What herbs can help us do is make it so those swings aren't quite as big.
Yes.
I almost think of herbs as like, you know, that balancing rod that
Yes.
tightrope walkers hold?
Yes.
Like you can walk on the tightrope, but without that balancing rod, you're going to be swaying left and right,
That's
and
right.
you might fall off.
That's right.
So you can think of herbs as foods, but they're more packed with phytonutrients. And because they're usually weedy, or they've been sort of on the margin of the culinary traditions, we haven't messed with them the way we've messed with apples. Dandelion is dandelion,
Yes, that's
right?
right.
And so you can access this ancestral reserve of chemistry in herbs, partly because we've left them that way. If you go back and you look, archaeogeneticists find human skulls from Paleolithic times, and they scrape the plaque off their teeth. And in that plaque residue, they find traces from yarrow and chamomile.
Yeah.
40,000 years old. We've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
And if what's cool is that the yarrow and chamomile in our gardens today, that you can grow super easily in a window pot, they're the same.
Yeah.
They're the exact same as they were 40,000 years ago.
Which is incredible. And especially for people who are saying, I'm looking for a low lift way to add some benefit to my life.
Well, let's pour a little vinegar on our preparation, and then we'll be good to go. Looks like it's a little more full.
Yeah.
And again, with herbal medicine, it couldn't be simpler, right? We're putting in this vinegar, which not only extracts material out of the herbs, but also helps preserve them for the long term.
And how long can this, for example, stay
good?
Yeah.
If you keep it out in the open like this, 3 to 6 months out of the sun.
Excellent.
If you keep it in the fridge, more than a year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Guido. Oh my goodness. I love it.